Anabolic Academy. It is Monday evening again. I'm actually getting to this a little earlier than usual. It's 10 p.m. instead of 11 or 11:30. But the only place you can watch Anabolic Academy is right here on Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. And if you haven't seen, I just did a live feed with Lee Priest, a live feed with Lee Priest, Coach Rich, uh, Kenson from EP09, and Xavier Wills from Desktop Bodybuilding. And we broke down the Pittsburgh Pro and our opinions between Nick and Derek. And we talked about Crizzo and Bonac and Martin and the guest posing with Samson and Keon. Anyway, this is Anabolic Academy. This is where you ask me questions, I answer them. So where can you reach me if this is your first time tuning in? My email, unclejohn1201 at Gmail, John_Livia at Yahoo, Instagram, Serious and Silliness, Facebook, John Livia, TikTok, John Livia. You can reach me on all those platforms, ask me a question, and then I will put it on Anabolic Academy and give you a shout out. Now, before we get to the questions, I have to go over the merchandise a little bit. Got to push a little merchandise. So, everybody, if you guys have not seen the same stuff as I showed you last week, everybody knows I like sleeveless shirts or sleeveless hoodies. This is a very lightweight sleeveless hoodie, which is perfect for the weather now. All right, it's a dry fit, okay, and it's a hoodie, and this was more of a personal design because I like wearing shirts like this. When I go to the gym, I like to put my hood up, kind of stay in the zone, but it's hot, so it's a lightweight material, dry fit, so you don't have to worry about your clothes getting sticky or anything. And it's also, for the warm weather, it's very cool to wear. So it's a very weather appropriate piece of clothing. Now, the other one, of course, is the jersey. Now, here is the basketball jersey. Now, if you guys want a jersey, you just contact me, email me, Uncle John 201 at Gmail, John_Livia at Yahoo. Now, this shirt is custom made to order one at a time because you pick the colors, you pick the jersey, you tell me what colors you want, you tell me what jersey you want. You get either basketball, football, or baseball. I chose basketball because I like to go to the gym in the summertime with no sleeves. And you could put your number, you get Serious and Silliness, you get my logo. On the back, you put your last name and your number. This shirt will cost you $100 plus shipping. And then this shirt, the one I just showed you, will cost you $50 plus shipping. So that ends that. I think I think I might actually order another jersey because I like it a lot, to be honest with you. It's really quality, good material. But anyway, all right. Let's get to the questions. Let's see. First question from Kali_baby. Is there a live stream for the New York Pro? Well, let's just see if there is a. This should be. There's always a live stream. I don't see why there is not one for the New York Pro. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in New York Pro 2025 live stream. Here it is. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, live stream. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to put in the contact information. It says for stream or content related questions, please contact info at virtuenova.com. I will put that into the description so that you guys should click and go and see what the deal is. And that is about it. So, next question from Kali_baby. Being new to the sport, break it down how Derek won Pittsburgh. I believe Nick won. All right. You're not the only one that believes Nick won. Nick is a fan favorite. Nick looked the best he's probably ever looked, and he really pushed Derek to the edge. he looked very impressive. He was massive. He was shredded. He was freaky. His back shots were just as comparable to Derek. Even I was shocked at how good he looked. At the end of the day, I think they gave it to Derek because his shape is better. He has a better X frame and a better V taper. That's really it. Every other shot was very comparable. It was very close. They had it tied. And that's why they went into this sudden death. I don't fucking know. Pose down shit. I don't know. Whatever. That's the only thing I could think of. That's the only reason I could think of because Nick's structure isn't as pretty as Derek's. That's the only thing I could think of. Now, I wasn't upset that Derek won, okay, because it was very close. And if Nick won, I wouldn't be upset. I thought either one of them could win. But with Nick showed up the best he ever looked, and Derek wasn't as good as he was at the Arnold, but he was still good. He's still Derek Lunsford. This is going to make for a very, very easy. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. This is going to make for a very, very interesting Mr. Olympia. Very interesting Mr. Olympia. I was going to say easy to watch, but very interesting. Because Derek beat Samson. Samson's Mr. Olympia. Nick really pushed Derek. And then you still have Hardy. Martin missed the mark, but if Martin did not miss the mark, this would have probably been a three-way race. It's going to get really interesting. So that's basically it. I mean, basically, they go pose for pose and they compare pose for pose, and every pose was really very close. Really very close. Um, yeah, Nick looked more impressive, but Derek's shape is just better. And this might be it. This might have been the closest bodybuilding show I've ever seen. Now, I don't think it was a slam dunk. People say Nick got robbed. I don't think Nick got robbed. To me, a robbery is when there's a clear winner and they give it to somebody else. Like I don't like that's a robbery. This was very close. So to me, either guy that won, I thought deserved it. But let me tell you something. Nick is back, and he definitely proved all the doubters wrong. And I'll admit it, I was one of them. I was one of them. I did not think he was going to show up this good. He backed out of two Olympias, so I was questioning his work ethic. He won the New York Pro last year, but Martin really pushed him, and he wasn't 100%. So I was like, well, you got Derek, who just won the Arnold. You got Martin, who's coming off a great Olympia victory, and he won the Prague Pro. And you got Bonac, who just won Detroit. And, you know, everybody was talking about Crizzo on Instagram. But he looked amazing. He was massive. He was shredded. His waist went down. His shoulders were he just looked, Nick looked amazing. He looked great. But Derek is a special bodybuilder. So I think we're going to have a great, great Mr. Olympia. All right. Next question from Fran is the man. If Good Vito didn't drop out of the Pittsburgh Pro, where would he have placed? That's a really good question. Personally, I think he probably would have been, this is rough, between third and fifth. I don't know if he would have, maybe he might have could have beaten Bonac maybe on size, but Bonac really looked good. That's where I would put him. It's hard to say exactly. I'd have to see him up on stage. His weak points are his back shots. He's got that high lat insertion, and he's got like a long lumbar region, which kind of does nothing. It's plain where, but Bonac's back is just great. Bonac's back is great, and he still couldn't touch Derek or Nick. But Crizzo came in sharp. It's just that his posing is off, and his back isn't as good as those other guys. Some people could say he's as high as third but honestly, I think he probably would have been anywhere between 3, 4, 5. That's my opinion. It's hard to say exactly because he's not there. Last question from Fron is the man. How do the judges decide on who wins a show when it goes into overtime like the Pittsburgh? But bro, I have no fucking idea. That's the first time I've ever seen that. That's the first time I've ever seen some kind of sudden death overtime pose down. I've never seen that in my life. I think by the end of the night, they still didn't know who to pick. And they were like, let's just do this one more time. You know, I'll say it again. I think they picked Derek just because he had a prettier physique, because he's got a better V taper and a better X frame. That's it. That's got to be the only thing, because shot for shot, Nick beat him on a lot of shots. All right, you want to say Nick doesn't beat him on the back shots? But it was very close. Nick beats him, in my personal opinion, on the most muscular. Nick beats him on the side chest all day long, side chest. Um, it's tough with the abs and thighs because Nick's abs aren't as good as Derek's, but Derek's legs are a little undersized compared to Nick. Man, this thing could have went either way. I know there's a lot of Nick fans out there, but this thing could have went either way. But as far as the overtime, I have no idea. It's the first time I've fucking heard that before. Anyway, all right, guys, that does it for another Anabolic Academy. Go back and watch that live feed. It was really good, really informative. We got everybody's opinion, and of course, don't don't worry, because Muscle Talk will be back this Thursday morning. We'll be taping it on Wednesday, and of course, I'm gonna have some great content. I should be shooting another in the gym on Sunday morning, so that should be out sometime around next week. Hope you guys enjoy that stuff, and that's it, guys. All right, later, peace.